Greetings, Pokefans! Michael here, and today was an awesome day for Sun and Moon news and hype and all that kind of stuff. You've probably seen a lot of the news already, but in this video I'm going to give you an in-depth breakdown of everything that we saw and stuff that you may have missed. So be sure to crush that like button, helps me out a lot. So I'm just going to dive right in and get going with all the awesome stuff that we got to see today. So the first thing is that we saw 3 brand new Pokemon, which is really exciting. We saw Pikipek, Yungoos, and Grubbin. So let's look at the data on each of these guys. Pikipek is actually the Pokemon that we saw as an unfinished model in the original release trailer. It's the woodpecker Pokemon, strikes 16 times a second with a beak, which is like what a woodpecker can do. It's normal flying, possible abilities, Keen Eye and Skill Link. Skill Link, really valuable ability. Hopefully it gets a good amount of moves that it can actually utilize for that, because I don't think it's going to use Rock Blast. That'd be kind of weird. But Pikipek is really cute. I like it. It's very likely the regional bird, and one cool thing that we saw in the trailer, I'll put the screenshot up right now, is that, as you can see, there's 2 white Pokeballs next to Pikipek when it's registered in the dex. They say in the stream that those represent unseen evolutions. So therefore we know Pikipek is going to get 2 evolutions, further confirming the fact that this is our regional bird. This is our guy, and I like it. I think he's cute. I think he's a really good regional bird, and I think he's awesome. So I'm looking forward to getting to use him. So the next Pokemon is Yungoos, which looks like a really angry Donald Trump mongoose. He's normal type, probably just early game normal type, not a huge deal. Kind of like Rattata or Bunnelby, but it actually looks like it could be a lot better based on its 2 abilities. First is Strong Jaw, increase the power, biting moves, we know that ability. But its other ability is Stakeout. That's a brand new ability, and it does double damage on a Pokemon that switches in. So if the rest of Yungoos's evolutions end up being like really strong and powerful, this thing could completely dominate the competitive gameplay because everybody's going to be too afraid to switch in on it, which would be ridiculous. So that's pretty awesome. I think it's kind of okay looking. The mouth's kind of weird, but I think it could evolve into something really awesome, but could evolve into something kind of silly. So then the last Pokemon we get to see is Grubbin. Grubbin here, early game bug type. I think he's cute. I think he's, you know, one of the cuter bug types. But one interesting thing on this information here, it says it can be found near power plants and substation. It loves electricity. So, therefore, it's probably pretty likely Grubbin is going to end up being an electric and bug type Pokemon after it evolves, kind of like Galvantula and Joltik. So, I like it. I think it's cute. Hopefully its evolutions are just as aesthetically pleasing. So let's go back to the Pokemon. We got some more information on Magearna, which I have called Magiarna in the past, which, considering its appearance, was stupid of me. So it's Magearna. Its ability is called Soul Heart. Soul Heart is a brand new ability, and what it does is if a Pokemon faints while Magearna is on the field, its special attack will raise. I'm pretty certain in the trailer it shows its ally fainting. I'm pretty sure it will also raise if the opponent faints. So that's a pretty useful ability. Very dangerous for sweeping situations, but I don't know how fast it's going to be. And it also gets a new signature move called Floor Cannon. Probably just a strong fairy type blasting attack, because we can see it just obliterates that Pangoro in the trailer. And the last thing we got to see is Solgaleo, and Lunala. Don't actually know how to pronounce those guys, but they get Solgaleo gets the Radiant Sun phase, Lunala gets the Full Moon phase. We don't really know what these mean yet. It says that they activate when they use their special moves, the special moves we saw in the recent trailer with these 2 guys. We're not really sure if this is just aesthetic, kind of like Xerneas's different form changes, or if it actually boosts their power in some way. We don't know yet. I think it's probably, because they're making a bigger deal about it, it probably does have something to do with the fact like they're getting more powerful or something like that. I don't know, but that's what I'm predicting. Also, speaking of legendaries, they did confirm that the Zygarde will play an important role in the story. We don't know anything yet, they wouldn't tell us, but them saying that pretty much confirms that it's not just going to be an extra legendary that happens to be in this game from a past generation. There's going to be a story behind it, which I'm really happy about and excited to see. We also got information about a new battle mode called the Battle Royale mode. It's 4 players, free-for-all. Anybody can attack anybody all at the same time, which is really awesome. The battle is over when one player loses all 4 of their Pokemon, rather than last Pokemon standing. And then the ranking is determined by, you know, the 3 remaining, because the person who loses first is going to be last. The 3 remaining who had the most KOs and who had the most Pokemon left. So we don't know the exact ranking system. I think it's really cool. They'll probably have some that you do in this story just as an extra thing to introduce it. Probably won't be a main story aspect, probably just be an extra fun battle mode that you can do with your friends or online. So I think that's pretty awesome. But the part of the trailer for this also confirms outfit customization for the characters. We knew that skin complexion was customizable for a while, but we weren't sure about outfit. But this does confirm that you can change your outfit in this game, which is great. That is what we wanted. We missed it in Oris. It was great in X and Y, but it's coming back for Sun and Moon, which is super awesome and great. So now I've covered pretty much most of the stuff that was covered in the trailer that is on YouTube. There's a couple stuff that was just in the stream that I tossed in there. But now I'm going to talk about some stuff that was only in the stream that was not in the trailer on YouTube that you may have missed if you didn't watch the stream or you haven't checked Cerebi.net. So the first thing we saw is that Ladybug can be caught in the wild. It's encountered in the wild, which confirms that older Pokemon will be available. It's not going to be just new Pokemon like the Unova games, which I think is great. I also think it's great that it's a Ladybug because that's a Pokemon we don't really see outside of Johto. It hasn't been a Pokemon brought into new generations like certain Pokemon always are, like Zubat, for example. So that's really cool to see. It seems like they're going to bring a lot of less commonly brought over Pokemon into this game. At least that's what Ladybug makes me kind of think is going to happen. The second thing is the battle screen on the bottom shows the type advantages. So this move will be super effective. This one will be not very effective. You can see there that it says this water gun will be super effective against the opponent's Litten. And so that's really awesome. You don't really have to memorize it anymore. It also shows how the attack's stats have been altered. That's what those ones are. The reason they're all ones is because his attack hasn't been raised or lowered or anything like that. So that's a really valuable thing to know. It's going to make competitive battling a little bit easier. There'll be less mistakes due to the lack of memory. And this next thing that I think is the biggest deal is that Popplio in the trailer, or in the stream, levels up and learns Disarming Voice, a special type fairy attack, which in my opinion pretty much confirms that it is going to be a fairy type Pokemon with a special attacking, it's going to be more of a special attacker, which is what I predicted, so I'm pretty happy about that. And it also makes it so that the leaks earlier about it being water fighting type probably aren't legit, and it also means that Litten will very well may not be a fire ground type down the road. So that's a big deal. Popplio very likely going to be water and fairy, which I'm happy about. That's what I wanted it to be, rather than water and fighting. I think fighting just doesn't really fit its biology. And one last thing is, in this opening ceremony that Hala was running, he talks about Tapu Koko, which they confirm in the stream is going to be a big deal. Some sort of deity? We don't know. Tapu doesn't mean anything in Hawaiian, but in other languages it means kind of holy or spiritual. And Koko in Hawaiian means blood. So, excuse me. That could... It sounds odd. Holy blood? It sounds like Jesus is in this game or something like that. But we don't know what that is yet. It could be a third legendary. We don't know. But it's going to be a big deal. So if we see that phrase around, know that it is important. Tapu Koko means something that we will find out about later. And I'm really excited about. So that's my breakdown for this trailer. If you liked it, be sure to hit that like button. If you're new to the channel, I'd really appreciate if you subscribed. I'm going to be making a ton more Sun and Moon videos, but also top 10s, Let's Plays, all sorts of Pokemon content that I'm sure you'll enjoy. So thank you guys so much for watching this video. It means a lot. Check back here tomorrow for a Let's Play, a new episode of the Platinum Let's Play Nuzlocke. But yeah, thanks again for watching. So until next time, Pokefans, gonna catch them all!